Have you ever asked yourself, why does it always feel like I'm the one who's failing? You try with all your strength. You push through, sometimes beyond what seems reasonable. You pray with sincerity, but no matter how hard you try, you find yourself falling short again and again. You wonder why your du'as feel like they're floating, unanswered in the vastness of the heavens. You watch others succeed, their lives filled with what you long for, wealth, happiness, achievement, and all you feel is an ache that gets louder with every passing day. You question your worth. What's wrong with me? Why can't I move forward? Why does Allah let me keep failing? But what if I told you that failure is not a punishment? That it's not the end of the road, but a beginning? What if failure is Allah's mercy wrapped in hardship, a gift disguised in the pain that you're going through? The truth is, sometimes, in order for Allah to shape you into the person He intends you to become, He first needs to break you down. In that breaking, there is something profound, a lesson, a hidden wisdom that only those who have walked through the fire understand. Failure is a word that many of us fear. It's a heavy word, one that clings to your soul like dust that doesn't seem to go away. It lingers and sticks. And the more you try to shake it off, the more it seems to grow. We fail in exams, in our careers, in our relationships, in our marriages, in our friendships. We fail in the private battles we fight with our own sins. Sometimes we fail quietly, putting on a mask of normalcy for the world to see, while inside we're quietly crumbling. When failure happens over and over again, it begins to change us. It shakes us to our core. It begins to make us question everything, our choices, our faith, and even the existence of Allah's mercy. In these moments we might say, why won't He help me? I prayed, I made dua, I gave charity, I cried, I gave everything, and still, it hurts. And that is exactly when we need to remind ourselves that failure may be preparing us for something far greater than we could ever imagine. What if Allah is using this hardship to detach us from the temporary world, to cut our ties from things that distract us, so that He can draw us nearer to Himself? Allah, in His infinite wisdom, says in Surah Al-Baqarah, "And perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows while you know not." Quran Surah number 2, ayat number 216. This verse teaches us that what we perceive as failure may actually be a blessing in disguise. What we view as a setback could be the very thing that sets us on the right path, a path closer to Allah. In times of failure, what we must seek is not the absence of pain, but the understanding of the wisdom behind it. When we reflect upon the life of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we see that he faced immense struggles that seemed to the outside world as failures. He lost his mother when he was just 6 years old, his grandfather at 8, and his beloved wife, Khadija, radiyallahu ta'ala anha. He faced rejection and mockery, even violence, in places like Taif, where they stoned him until his blessed body bled. He witnessed the loss of his sons, one by one, and the sorrow of his companions. Was this a sign that Allah was displeased with him? Absolutely not. Allah's message to him was clear in Surah Ad-Duha, "For Lord has not forsaken you, nor has He detested you." Quran Surah number 93, ayat number 3. This is a profound lesson for all of us. When we fail, when we face hardship, it does not mean that Allah is angry with us. The Prophet ﷺ himself faced unimaginable struggles, and yet these were not signs of Allah's anger, but of His love, His wisdom, and His mercy. Similarly, let us reflect upon the story of Prophet Ayub alayhi salam. Prophet Ayub had everything: wealth, health, family, respect. He was a beloved prophet surrounded by love and admiration from his people. But then, one by one, everything was taken from him. His wealth, his health, his children, his friends, all were lost. His skin decayed and his body was overtaken by illness. Those who once sought his help abandoned him. Yet, through all of this, Prophet Ayub did not complain. He did not say, "Why me?" or "Why is Allah not protecting me?" Instead, he said, "Indeed, adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful." Quran Surah number 21, ayat number 83. In his darkest moment, Prophet Ayyub's heart remained focused on Allah, acknowledging that despite his trials, Allah's mercy outweighed all his pain. And what did Allah do? Allah responded by relieving his suffering, returning to him his wealth, his health, and his family. As a mercy from him. Quran Surah number 21, ayat number 84. This is what Allah does in the lives of his beloved servants. He purifies them through trials. He teaches them patience, humility, sincerity, and tawakkul, trust in Allah. And when success finally comes, it doesn't destroy them because they have been refined in the fire of hardship. Consider the story of a young man who worked tirelessly, stayed up nights, prayed tahajjud for his exams, fasted Mondays and Thursdays, and made sincere dua, asking Allah for success. But when the results came, he failed. His world came crashing down. He thought he had done everything right, yet it all fell apart. And so, in his despair, he stopped praying. He distanced himself from Allah, but one day, he stumbled upon a video of a sheikh who said something that changed his life. Sometimes, the door you wanted to walk through was never yours to begin with. Allah had to close it, because if you walked through it, you would have walked away from him. This struck his heart. He made wudu, prayed for the first time in months, and that night his journey back to Allah began. Years later, he realized that the failure he had experienced was a blessing in disguise. It had humbled him, broken his ego, and strengthened his relationship with Allah. Failure, it turned out, was the very thing that saved his faith. And maybe, just maybe, your story is unfolding in a similar way. Failure forces us to confront truths we often choose to ignore. Perhaps we were relying too much on ourselves, forgetting that it is Allah who is in control. Maybe we were chasing worldly gains without aligning our hearts with Allah's commands. Allah reminds us in Surah Al-Insan, "Indeed, we created man from a drop of mixed fluid to test him, and we made him hearing and seeing." Quran Surah number 76, ayat number 2. We were created to be tested, and this is the nature of our lives. So why are we surprised when tests come our way? Even the noble Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, experienced failure. At the Battle of Uhud, they disobeyed the Prophet ﷺ command and descended from the mountain, which led to a devastating loss. 70 companions were martyred, and the Prophet ﷺ was injured. But Allah did not abandon them. He reminded them, "Do not weaken and do not grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers." Quran Surah number 3, ayat number 139. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. It is a necessary step in the journey toward growth, both in this world and the next. So take a moment now. Look inward and ask yourself, why am I truly upset about my failure? Is it my ego? Is it because others seem to be ahead of me? Is it because I feel humiliated? Or is it because I have forgotten that Allah's plan is far wiser than mine? Every setback is an opportunity for growth, not just in career or status, but in faith, iman. When you fail and still turn to Allah, that is true tawakkul. When you fall and in that fall you make sujood, your heart is being softened. When you beg Allah for strength rather than success, you're finally learning what it means to submit. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Amazing is the affair of the believer. Verily, all of his affair is good. If something good happens to him, he is grateful, and that is good for him. If something bad happens to him, he is patient, and that is good for him." Sahih Muslim, your failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is the place where your heart finally learns to say, "Ya Allah, I surrender. I trust you." Let your failure be the path that guides you back to the one who never fails. Dear soul, you were never meant to have everything figured out. You were meant to walk this life with Allah as your guide. So the next time you fail, don't ask why me. Instead, ask, "Ya Allah, what do you want me to learn from this?" Do not run away from him, run to him. Because success is not about getting everything you want. It's about becoming someone who seeks nothing more than Allah's pleasure. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever Allah intends good for, He afflicts him with trials." Bukhari, this means your struggle is a sign that Allah still wants you. So raise your hands now and let's make a dua together. O Allah, make us among those who are patient in hardship, grateful in ease, and always returning to you in every moment of weakness. Ya Allah, mend our broken dreams if they bring us closer to you, and break our ego if it takes us away from you. Ya Allah, in every failure, let us find you. In every loss, let us gain your nearness. And in every tear we shed, write for us a reward that draws us closer to Jannah. Ameen.